Hi book friends. Today I'll be reading a spooky story. It's called Haunted Halloween with Curious George. Let's open the book. Okay, here we go. This year, George was spending Halloween in the country. The last autumn leaves were falling. George and the man with the yellow hat were busy raking. Rake, rake, rake. You see George in the rake? And the big pile of leaves? So pretty. Mrs. Rankins rode by on her bicycle. Halloween's here! Hang on to your hats, she shouted. Happy Halloween, Mrs. Rankins, said the man. George was curious. Why would he need to hang on to his hat? That's a good question. George went to the Rankinsons' farm. There were so many pumpkins. His friend Allie and Bill were there too. Hang on to your hats, said Bill. George and Allie were confused. Why was everyone saying that? Haven't you heard of the legend of No Noggin? Bill asked. They hadn't. Who is No Noggin? Then Bill told them the spooky story. A long time ago, there was a scarecrow perched by old lonesome tree. It had a big pumpkin for a head and a hat on top. But one Halloween, the pumpkin went missing. From then on, everybody called the scarecrow No Noggin because it had no head. Ooh, that is a spooky story. No Noggin was angry. What good was a hat without a head? That's why every Halloween night, No Noggin shows up and kicks people's hats off. George was spooked. A headless scarecrow ghost. Don't worry, said Bill. Just make sure you hang on to your hats on Halloween. Oh, there goes George imagining the headless scarecrow kicking his hat off. Oh, George is a little scared. And so is Allie. George went home with his pumpkin. He wanted to see his friend and find out more about No Noggin. It's just a legend, George, said the man. A tall tale, a ghost story. It's not real. But George wasn't so sure. George and his friend decided to carve a jack-o'-lantern. George tried to get his mind off ghost, but he needed to know if No Noggin was real. Oh, there he goes, making a jack-o'-lantern, and look at all the decorations for Halloween. But George, he wants to know if No Noggin is actually a legend. The next night was Halloween. George and Allie were hiding near old lonesome tree. They were going to catch No Noggin on camera. Oh, do you see George? He has a camera. Look at Allie. What is she dressed up as? Yeah, a spider. Cool. Suddenly, they saw a shadow. Could it be No Noggin? George took a photo. Click. But it was only Bill in his wizard costume. There goes Bill. Then George and Allie had an idea. Bill could help catch No Noggin with his wizard hat. Oh, that does sound like a good idea. Bill stood near old lonesome tree. There goes Bill. He walked back and forth and waited for No Noggin to kick his hat. Suddenly, Bill's hat flew off his head. George and Allie chased the moving hat into a cave. Oh, would you chase a hat into a cave? I would not. Inside the cave, they found Bill's hat and Jumpy Squirrel. There goes Jumpy Squirrel. And lots of other hats, all filled with acorns. There was no headless scarecrow, It had been Jumpy all along. Jumpy and his squirrel friends had taken the hats to collect acorns. Oh, what clever little squirrels. Hats are perfect to collect acorns. Look how many acorns are in that. And in that hat, and that hat. And look at all the acorns in this giraffe hat. Wow. There is no scary scarecrow. It was Jumpy Squirrel. George and his friends had solved the mystery. And they even had proof to show everyone the truth behind the legend of No Noggin. They had a photo. And there goes Jumpy the Squirrel grabbing Bill's hat. Well, maybe after Halloween. Now it's time for George to put on his costume and join his friends for trick-or-treating. Do you see George? What is he dressed up as? No Noggin? Oh, George, silly monkey. And that's the end of Haunted Halloween with Curious George. Yay! Did you like this spooky story? I hope I didn't scare you too much. Happy Halloween! Bye, book friends!